And this lecture is being broadcast on Facebook as well. And I believe there are international audience as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My name is Dr. Hassan Jamil. Today's topic is actually just an introduction. And I have been working on OpenStack since 2015. And first time when I started it, I had no idea that what is OpenStack before starting my PhD. So before I start introduction, I would like to thank Professor Dr. Jawad Ahmed Shamsi, who has been the inspiration for this session. And also, I would like to dedicate this session to my mentor, Dr. Anjum Naveed, who was the senior lecturer that time in University of Malaya. Actually, he guided me towards this all OpenStack and cloud computing. So basically, OpenStack, as you know already, that this is a private cloud solution. So OpenStack is actually a product of OpenStack Foundation, you might say, that this is a product of active community. OpenStack Foundation is a very active foundation as well. It has more than 90,000 members all over the world and around 187 countries, 670 organizations are part of the OpenStack. So I will take this session in three sessions. Our session will be divided in 3 parts. In first part, I'm using the slides of OpenStack. These slides are from the OpenStack, and which tells you about what is OpenStack and some basics. And then after, in second session, I will be discussing some components of OpenStack. So what is the major components, how OpenStack is, we can just learn basic components. So you can see from this slide, this is a broad view of OpenStack, where you can see the sort of cloud computing, and there is APIs and they are communicating. On the right side, you can see the virtual machines, VM. You must have the basic concept of virtual machines, and you might know a little bit about containers as well. Have any of you heard about the containers? Yes. Right, Dockers, you might be familiar. And have you heard the word bare metal? Any of you know bare metal? Bare metal is sort of, in these 2 solutions, you are providing virtual machine or either container. But in the bare metal, you have access of all hardware, but remotely, sort of. Suppose when you buy virtual machines on cloud, you just have access to your virtual machine. You don't have complete access to the hardware. But using bare metal service, you can have. So OpenStack combines all these 3 services. And so you might have gone through with these all models like private cloud, public cloud, hybrid cloud. You might have heard, right? So OpenStack provide all these solutions. So around more than 60 data centers worldwide, they are working on OpenStack as a public cloud. Like, you might know public cloud, right? Anyone knows name? Any big name? Amazon, AWS, right? Azure, right? Google Cloud. So this is also a very big, powerful software which provide you can create your own public cloud. And I will share some examples who is working on this. So that provides you a private cloud. We will have a short demo, inshallah, at the end of private cloud. So we have a little private cloud in Fast Newsys as well. And it works with hybrid cloud. Like you can work with the OpenStack as well as AWS as well as Azure, like a hybrid solution also. Okay. So OpenStack is open source. And one thing I would like to share here, then open source does not mean that it's always free. You might know the difference, right? Sometimes this is open source and free. OpenStack is free, but sometimes some open source solutions, when you go for the deployment or the production solution, so you might have to contact some vendors. They will deploy it and they charge you for this. But it's still that is free. But when you go for the production solution, so you might pay. So OpenStack is open source. It's free. So which provides it's the big advantage. A lot of companies and a lot of solution providers, they join OpenStack Foundation and they are building this. We will see in future next slides that how this OpenStack is built up, what are the components and how big is this all project. So it's OpenStack, open design, open development, open community. Means you can be a member of OpenStack if you want to work. You can join different forums. You can join different parts. You can join different projects of OpenStack if you want to work and you want to share, right? So this is the basic primary business driver. Why there was a survey of OpenStack users, and they were asked why you joined the OpenStack. So these were the top 3 reasons. Avoid vendor lock-in. You must know the vendor lock-in means, right? Suppose you purchase a vendor solution, like suppose you purchase IBM product, so you must follow all these things. Or suppose you are going for the I would say the Cisco or other brands, so they are not open source. Or suppose you are purchasing the cloud solution with the Google Cloud or Amazon, so you don't have much access. You just have access to your virtual machine. So it also provides accelerate innovation. How it innovates, we will discuss in future slides. And operational efficiency means this is very convenient to operate with. So how many of you familiar with the OpenStack before this session? Any of you heard about OpenStack? No? How much you know? Can you name any of the company who has been using OpenStack? No. So look at this. Look at this slide. Which industries choose OpenStack? So you can see the big names. Walmart. You must be familiar with Walmart, right? eBay. The all big names. Volkswagen. It's the largest automobile group, right? And all other these banks, PayPal, American Express, Union Pay, AT&T, T-Mobile, China Mobile, Comsats, Comcast, big names. And in research, you must know these names, right? MIT. It's not the name you can forget. CERN, you must have heard about CERN. If you know a little bit about research, so you must know about CERN as well. Harvard. So all these big names, all these big companies, they are the part of OpenStack. They're working with the OpenStack, or they are using OpenStack on their deployment. So what runs OpenStack? What runs on OpenStack means, what is the OpenStack? I would say in this. So 86% of telcos, they are working on OpenStack. They are running their solution on OpenStack. I will discuss a few in future slides. CERN, you must know the CERN. CERN runs one of the largest OpenStack cloud to process data from the Large Hadron Collider, giving physicists the resources they need to unleash the secrets of the universe. right? So CERN, they are using for their research. All these companies, I'm just skipping, right? You can go and read more if you want. So OpenStack started in 2010. NASA plus Rackspace, they developed this basics of the OpenStack, and then in 2012 they established the OpenStack Foundation, and OpenStack Foundation started it, and within, you might say, how long it would be there, 8 years, right? It's 2020 we are. So OpenStack has got big share in the market. A lot of companies, a lot of firms, they joined OpenStack. So OpenStack Foundation, you can see the link of OpenStack Foundation OpenStack.org/foundation. You can go and see who is the part of OpenStack Foundation. Basically, OpenStack Foundation maintains infrastructure for development and communication, coordinate with software release, trademarks, and legal management. So OpenStack Foundation has been organizing on and developing all these. So who are the sponsors of the OpenStack? So all these big names: Intel, IBM, Rackspace, Red Hat, SUSE, AT&T, Ericsson, Huawei, Aprieta, all these Fujitsu, NEC, ZT, Ubuntu, all these big companies, they are the sponsors. And you can see the big list if you are interested. So OpenStack is a big community. As I said, these figures are a bit old, maybe more than 100,000. This only shows 81,000. I believe it will be more. So this is just an overview. So how does they collaborate? They do global conferences, OpenStack summits. There is an Open Summit going on. It's on 19th of this month. So in the start, they distributed free tickets as well. I don't know if it's still available or not, but I got 2 tickets. So OpenStack, they arrange summits as well. They create, hackathon, voting. If you are a member, you will get surveys. You will get, the ballots to join and vote. All these things. So it's also a cross community collaboration. You might heard the big names like containers, Dockers, PaaS, Cloud Foundry, NVF, Network Function Virtualization, Open NVF. You might have heard the name of a little bit familiar with Puppet, all these, Ansible. So they have collaboration with OpenStack as well. And OpenStack release almost 2 release every year, 2 release every 6 months. 6 months there is a new release of OpenStack. So there is some list and some more list. You can go and see which one is the latest version of OpenStack going on. So you can go on OpenStack website and search for the latest version, and you will see which version is already obsolete, and which version is in production, and which version is maintained, and which version is they have declared the end of life. So this a little bit introduction about this. So basically, OpenStack is a cloud solution which provide you to create your own cloud. Either you are creating a private cloud or public cloud. Obviously, if you are a big company, then you can go for the public cloud, but mostly people are using it for the private cloud, and a lot of people using this for the research purposes. So I just skip a little bit of these introduction of OpenStack. OpenStack is recognized for its security, different certifications and recognition from all over the world. So next step, what? You can join OpenStack Foundation. You can learn, and as I said, that OpenStack is open source. So not only the software open source, everything available online. If you want to install OpenStack at your end, all it's from scratch, from zero. The documentation is available on OpenStack website, and you can do the experiment by yourself. By each and every step is available there. So these are some links for this. And if you want to contribute, you can join the community. If you want to do some, development, some projects, you want to join some projects, also you can join. Now, this was the first section where I just introduced you about what is OpenStack, what is OpenStack Foundation. Now we go a little bit into the OpenStack components, I would say. So this is a big view again. I don't know you can see or not, but again, here you can see the bare metal. I don't know, you guys can read it or not, the screen? No? So I will read out for you, okay? So bare metal, virtual machines, containers, object storage, file storage, block storage, all these things are combined in one solution, which is called OpenStack. So what does it mean? It means that any of them or all of them, if you want to work on them, you can get these within OpenStack. So this is a quite big diagram, you might say, the OpenStack map, but I will just discuss few of things. Like suppose OpenStack Nova. These are all projects of OpenStack. So basically, I just need to explain a little bit. Like, you must know about basic infrastructure of cloud, right? One is a controller node and another is compute node, right? So controller node manages all the control tasks. So some of these services just belong to the controller node, like suppose Neutron. Neutron is the network service of OpenStack, which maintains all the networks. And it's running on SDN based, software defined network. Nova is a compute service. Compute means all the nodes will be computed on, will be running on the compute node, and Nova is compute service. And some of the services like this is Zune is for the containers, and killing or chilling. I don't know how to pronounce this, but they pronounce it chilling something. So this is for the functions as a service. You might heard the about the Lambda in AWS, or functions. I think it's functions in Google Cloud, and function is an Azure as well, which provide you the facility of using functions as a service. So it also provides this. And a Keystone is for registering the credential, I would say. I skipped this slide for details. Just we need to know the basics. So OpenStack system consists of several services that are separately installed. These services work together depending on the cloud needs and include compute, identity, network, image. So some of the services are necessary. Like suppose without compute, you cannot have cloud, right? Without networking, you cannot run. Without images, you cannot boot your virtual machine. But some of the services like block storage is sort of, you might be familiar with the AWS concept of block storage, S2 or I think S3 they call it. So that might be this. And object storage and block storage, this is sort of storage services. And orchestration is, you want to orchestrate your all the cloud, so you can use all these services. So, but very basic is, suppose if you are using cloud as an OpenStack as an infrastructure as a service, so you can just use the two nodes. One is cloud compute node, and other is cloud controller node, and you can just basic services you can run. Like suppose if you want to just boot the virtual machines, so within two nodes you can create your own private cloud. So mostly people use it for the infrastructure as a service, and each services offer API. So every service has API and they communicate together, all these services. When I say services, means the OpenStack has name of these services which provide the facilities. Like suppose controller has many things, like suppose Neutron is for the networking, and as I said, Nova compute for compute and all these services. So this was a little bit introduction about this OpenStack and its services. Now we go to the a little bit about the deployment, how it is being deployed. Current trends and deployment. So all these deployments I have taken also from the OpenStack. OpenStack users, they presented their work. So some famous companies which use the OpenStack, used by the companies like Comcast, PayPal, Walmart, Volkswagen, Sun, Lexus, Nexus, AT&T, China Mobile, etc. So these are some telcos and telecom companies, and as well as some big automobile companies. They are using the OpenStack. How they have deployed, I have here with some examples. Like suppose Volkswagen and the cars, the OpenStack journey for the Volkswagen. Was the presentation from the representative of Volkswagen. So how they have used Volkswagen Group, you must know about Volkswagen, right? So Volkswagen Group comprised of Audi, Bentley, Bugatti, Ducati, Lamborghini, all these big names, Porsche. So they have it employs 600,000 people around the world, and production facilities in 40 countries. Okay, so you must be aware of these names. So how they are using OpenStack? Basically, they have a hybrid solution. They have deployed OpenStack. I'm not sure you can see this slide or not, but I just explain a little bit that they have hybrid cloud, and they use OpenStack for their hybrid cloud, and they have deployed this solution for all over the world. Their offices, they are connected with this, and they are using OpenStack for their I would say private cloud. But it's a hybrid solution where some part they have deployed with OpenStack, and the rest of the part they are using with some other cloud solutions. Same as the Comcast. Comcast is a big telco company or multimedia company. You might say the high-speed internet, video, IP telephony, home security, all these things that they provide. So this is an American company. Some of you might be familiar with, or some are not. You might heard the NBC, right? NBC channel, right? So Comcast, they are using OpenStack. At Comcast, as I said, that this is from their representatives, all these slides. So at Comcast, we use OpenStack for a wide range of purposes, from developing new apps, service, and production, such as recently launched Xfinify Sharp app, to operating millions and customer cloud-enabled X1 setup boxes. So they have setup boxes, sort of, you might say, the cable TV provider, you might say, and they are using the OpenStack for their production. So using Comcast Elastic Cloud and powered by OpenStack. So they are using OpenStack. Atmail is a big email provider, and actually all these big names, they are using Atmail. So Atmail had problem with their old architecture, and they had this legacy SQL design before. So they went for a new solution with OpenStack, which solved their problem, and they deployed OpenStack, which is fully scalable. Before that, they were facing some problem. I skip all these details, but you can, if you are interested, you can see the link there, or just write down Atmail OpenStack, and you will Google it, and you will find all these stories. I'm just trying to, what purpose of these sharing all these? I'm just trying to convince that a lot of people are using OpenStack around the world, and just to give you an awareness that what is OpenStack, how it can be used. So some telco using it, some big email companies. Atmail is a big company on the back of many companies. Like suppose most of the companies, they move their email server to the Google, right? So same like Google, Atmail is the backend of big companies. Some of the companies, they don't want their name to be shown that we are using Atmail. If you go to the Atmail, they will say that some of our partners, they don't want to tell that we are using Atmail solution at the backend. So it's a big company, huge companies are using Atmail solution. So Atmail is using OpenStack. Same as the journey of Swiss Telecom. Swiss Telecom started in 2006, and they started some, services providing. You might know the, HD television services and a video on demand concept. So they started, and they went to the OpenStack. And then they started a big new head end. If you are interested, you can search this title as well, and you will find the whole story of Swisscom TV, how they built their all head end. They are using OpenStack for their video on demand and their HD TV. They're running all it on OpenStack. How many of you know about this university? Edinburgh. Where is Edinburgh? Scotland, UK. So the road to OpenStack at one of UK's largest academic private cloud, the University of Edinburgh, they are running OpenStack. And for what they are using, again, these are the slides from their own. So they share that their objective, provide flexible infrastructure of compute, storage, and network services for research. So they are using this cloud for research, enable higher value of HR, deliver higher values. So role of OpenStack in their work, I'm talking about the Edinburgh, University of Edinburgh. So provide users with flexible self-service provision, computing infrastructure, compute, storage, networking, application portfolio. OpenStack should not result in net increase of workload for research services operations team. So they are using a lot of for a lot of work, not only for the research, as mentioned, their HR and other things. So they are providing services to them. So as well as HPC and technical computing workload, high performance computing workload, they are using OpenStack. So these are some. This is the design solution for their cloud. So for management, they have 16 node. For storage, 9 Ceph node, and for compute, they're using more than 200 nodes, from which they some divided for some other work purpose. And for networks, they use 5 virtual LANs with 10 GBE, integrate with the broader university IT services. And I think this is the last example, Massachusetts Open Cloud. This is a big collaboration. You can see the big name of universities. You might know about MIT, must know, I believe. But all these Boston, Northwestern, Canonical, and as well as the UMass, they all join, and with this all, big names, Intel, Red Hat, and some other, the MathWorks of, you must know this logo, right? It's not coming in my mind. MATLAB, right? So all these EMC Square, all these, they have created a big cloud, which is called the Massachusetts Open Cloud. So they are also using the OpenStack. So till this, I just try to present what is OpenStack, how it's growing, how people are using the OpenStack. Now the question arises, what is the future of OpenStack, and what will be the future of cloud, and where does OpenStack find its place? So there is a term called cloud repatriation. In 2016 article of Forbes cites a study conducted by 451 research that found that 20% of cloud users had moved one or more of their workload from public cloud to on premises. Like suppose in early 2010 or before that, there was a shift from private your premises to cloud, but some of them, they faced problems, like they had latency issues, they had some issues with the workload efficiency problems they faced. So they moved their premises back. 20% of them, they came back. So when they came back, where would they go? Either they just create the old-fashioned data center, or they will go to the private cloud. So most of they are adopting OpenStack for their private cloud. If they are coming for their own premises, so this term is called cloud repatriation, and here is the place where private cloud find its place. So same study also found that an additional 10% of public cloud users were planning to move some load back to private cloud in the future. In total, those embark a cloud repatriation plan to do so in 40% of their current public cloud workload. So this is the future of private cloud, and as well as OpenStack with the hybrid cloud. As I mentioned earlier, many of the companies, they are running hybrid solution. They are running AWS, Azure, and as well as their own private cloud. So OpenStack find its place in the private and hybrid cloud. How many of know this term, NFV, sorry? Network function virtualization. So according to August 2016 survey conducted by Heavy Reading and OpenStack Foundation, more than 60% of telecoms are already using or currently testing a new case with OpenStack for NFV, sorry. So for network function virtualization, they are using OpenStack. 86% of telecom respondents considered OpenStack to be essential or important for their success. So this is, I think, the future of OpenStack. That's the last thing, that NVF, hybrid and private cloud, is the next future, and OpenStack find its place. So the purpose of this seminar is to give you an awareness and inspire you to start working with the OpenStack, and you can start doing your projects with OpenStack. So these are the companies supporting the OpenStack Foundation: Platinum members, some gold members, big name again. So at that point, I stop and I take questions if you have some questions, and then finally we will do a small demo of our private cloud. मेरा ख्याल है कि टेलीकॉम का तो मुझे कंफर्म नहीं है, लेकिन मुख्तलिफ प्रोडक्शन हाउसेज में OpenStack यूज हो रहा है. 2 of them I know already they are using OpenStack. One of the companies, he was working for companies actually based on UAE. They have their sort of I would say the R&D in Pakistan. So they are using OpenStack for their research purpose. And another software company, they were using OpenStack because some of the apps, or I would say the software testing, you need VMs very often. You need to boot VM virtual machines, or you need containers. So OpenStack is a very good solution for it. You create VM and you destroy it, you create and delete. It's just very easy. So you can create your private cloud, and you can give access to your all users, and they can create and destroy their own VMs very often, and you can have the image of some specific software, or so you just boot the image and thing is ready. Like suppose you want to use the database. So once you have created the image of a database, So whenever you want, you can boot it in within seconds. ये नॉइज आ रही है, कुछ वॉइस आ रही है, बैक हो रही है. अच्छा जी, कोई क्वेश्चंस? मुझे नहीं मालूम कि गूगल मीट पे कुछ लोग क्वेश्चन अगर करना चाह रहे हो तो प्लीज. Good question. If you follow the trend of cloud, you might have heard some names like Open Nebula. There were some names. To be honest, I also forget, because they started in early 2010 or 2011, but no one could survive. So there might be some solutions, but there is no big name like OpenStack. Some of them in the start, they found some popularity, but they could not survive. So OpenStack, in my opinion, it's only a big private cloud solution, but a lot of people, they are providing their customized solution. But as a big community and open source community, I think OpenStack is the only one.
Could you please discuss the components of OpenStack?
एक क्वेश्चन यहाँ मेरे पास आया कि could you please discuss the components of OpenStack? So the purpose of this workshop was not to go into details, as I mentioned. Just it should be the the introduction. So in components, we just briefly discussed. I just come back to that slide. फरीद भाई, आप इसको म्यूट कर दें.
Are you changing slides? Because I cannot see moving.
Just give me a minute, please. Can you see now?
Nope, it's not changed. It's stuck on companies supporting the OpenStack Foundation.
Just give me 1 second. I switch again, please. Please check now.
Yes, sir, I can see it.
Okay, so this is a big scenario of OpenStack. So as I said that for the basic purpose, you just need some a controller node and a compute node. Controller node deals all the control purposes. So suppose for the networking, for the creation of virtual machine, all these control tasks is performed by the controller node, and compute node is running basically your virtual machine. So all the machines which are running, they are running on compute node on top of the hypervisor. So these are some components of OpenStack. Like suppose Nova is the compute service. You can see the virtual machine. It's red color written, the virtual machine. So whatever VMs you are booting, the Nova service provide the VM or virtual machines compute service. And the Neutron is used for the networking. So Neutron is using SDN. If any of you are interested in SDN, this is also a big opportunity. You can play with the OpenStack. The one important thing I missed, that why I support OpenStack, because if you are using cloud as a AWS or Azure, you just have access to your virtual machine, nothing else. No more thing you have access, right? But if you are going with the OpenStack, you can work on infrastructure. You can play with all these, the messaging services, RabbitMQ or other things which are they're using all these services as it is open source, as the source code is available. And when you deploy OpenStack at your end, you can play with all the infrastructure and other things, whatever you want to play. Or when I say play, means whatever research you want to do, you can do it. On public clouds, you are just limited to the VM. You do not have access to their infrastructure. So that the OpenStack provide you all these. So suppose if you want to do some experiment on, the storage, so Swift and Cinder, they are the block storage. Manila is a file service. I'm not going in details of these services because this is just an introduction. So whatever you think of a public cloud, you can have that service in OpenStack. Like suppose if you have been using some services of AWS or Azure or Google Cloud, you can create your own all these services with your own private cloud. Like suppose if you have been using the block storage service of AWS, you can create this service in OpenStack, your own service. Okay. So for more details, you can go to the OpenStack websites. They have all documentations and all installation manuals, everything available. So now I try to do some demonstration of our private cloud. If any more questions, then we can take, and then we go to the demo. Please. जी बिल्कुल, रिसर्च देखें, ये ओपन है रिसर्च के लिए. वॉट एवर रिसर्च यू वांट टू डू ऑन क्लाउड, यू कैन डू ऑन ओपन स्टैक. सपोज कि आप इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर पे काम करना चाहते हैं, या आप यूं समझ लें कि आप मॉनिटरिंग पे काम करना चाहते हैं, या आप सपोज के जो है वो वर्चुअल मशीन की लोड बैलेंसिंग के ऊपर काम करना चाहते हैं, तो ये सारे काम आप ओपन स्टैक के थ्रू कर सकते हैं. सही है. क्लाउड के ऊपर जो प्रॉब्लम्स हैं, इस वक्त प्रॉब्लम आपके इल्म में, किसी के इल्म में है कि क्लाउड पे क्या प्रॉब्लम्स हैं लोग सीन कर रहे हैं? किसी के इल्म है कि क्लाउड पे? अच्छा एक मिनट, मैं थोड़ा सा, जो लोग गूगल मीट पे ज्वाइन किए हुए मेरे साथ, थोड़ा सा प्रॉब्लम ये है कि मैं पावर पॉइंट पे कंसंट्रेट किए हुआ हूँ ना, तो मैं आप लोगों की चैट नहीं देख सक रहा हूँ. तो जो लोग चैट में क्वेश्चन लिख रहे हैं, तो या तो फिर मैं ये सेशन के बाद में मैं क्वेश्चन पढ़ के फिर मैं आपको रिस्पॉन्ड कर देता हूँ. बाकी जो माइक ऑन करके अगर क्वेश्चन कर लेता है तो वो उसी वक्त मैं उसको रिस्पॉन्ड कर दूंगा. तो मैं बात कर रहा था कि रिसर्च के हवाले से आप जितनी भी, जो अब देखें मैंने आपके सामने जो एग्जाम्पल रखी है, मैसाचुसेट्स जो क्लाउड, जो MIT के साथ पूरा जो कोलैबोरेशन है, वो कितना बड़ा बिग, उनके साथ CERN भी इन्वॉल्व है. तो आप अंदाजा करें, आप थोड़ा सा जाके रिसर्च पेपर सर्च करें, गूगल स्कॉलर पे जाएं, क्लाउड लिखें और ओपन स्टैक लिखें, फिर आपको आइडिया होगा कि कितना बड़ा काम है जो लोग ओपन स्टैक के साथ कर रहे हैं. इनके अपने आप पेज पे चले जाएं, ये जो मैंने मैसाचुसेट्स क्लाउड का जो आपके सामने जिक्र किया है, इनके अपने पेज पे चले जाएं तो इनकी बहुत बड़ी पब्लिकेशन की लिस्ट है जो ये लोग रिसर्च कर रहे हैं उस पर. CERN की आप वेबसाइट पे चले जाएं, CERN के ऊपर आप देखेंगे कितना काम हो रहा है. फिर थोड़ी सी एक पहलू है जो मैं बहुत कम डिस्कस किया, थोड़ा सा रह गया. मैंने सरसरी डिस्कस किया था, जो हमने एडनबरा यूनिवर्सिटी का क्लाउड डिस्कस किया. एडनबरा यूनिवर्सिटी जो HPC है, जो हाई परफॉर्मेंस कंप्यूटिंग है, या यूं कह लें कि आप डीप लर्निंग के लिए जो आप कहना चाहिए कि एक पूरा, ये भी एक पूरा बहुत बड़ा टॉपिक है, मैं इतना डिटेल में नहीं जा रहा, बस फॉर इंफॉर्मेशन मैं आपको बता रहा हूँ कि जो आपके पास GPUs हैं, GPU वर्चुअलाइजेशन भी आप ओपन स्टैक के थ्रू कर सकते हैं. मतलब आपके पास जितना भी डीप लर्निंग और मशीन लर्निंग से रिलेटेड काम है, मोस्टली GPUs पे हो रहा है ना. तो एक बड़ा इशू ये होता है कि एक GPU सर्वर अवेलेबल है, अब आप उसको डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करना चाहते हैं तो नहीं कर पा रहे हैं. तो ओपन स्टैक ये सॉल्यूशन प्रोवाइड करता है. अगर आप इसमें इंटरेस्टेड हो तो इसको आप लिख लें और आप जाके सर्च कर सकते हैं. और ओपन स्टैक बेस्ड GPU वर्चुअलाइजेशन के सॉल्यूशन भी लोगों ने डिप्लॉय किए हैं यूनिवर्सिटीज में भी और मुख्तलिफ रिसर्च सेंटर्स में भी. इसी तरह से कंटेनर्स पे बहुत से लोग काम करना चाहते हैं, या नाम सुना होगा. कंटेनर्स के साथ भी ओपन स्टैक जो है वो कंफर्टेबली मर्ज हो सकता है. इसी तरह से जो जितनी भी नई टेक्नोलॉजीज आ रही हैं वो साथ साथ ओपन स्टैक में मर्ज हो सकती हैं और हो रही हैं चीजें. मेरा जो
comment on the interaction or interface between OpenStack and some SDN platforms like Kronos or Open Daylight.
as I said, that OpenStack, there is a question from Google Meet that he want me to explain the communication link between the OpenStack and NFV or SDN. SDN, he said, right?
SDN, yes, SDN.
So actually, as I said, all networking at backend is SDN based. So if you want to do something on SDN, so you can deploy OpenStack and you can do experiments. But it's not my area, so I cannot go in all details. But if you want to work on SDN, so once you deploy your cloud, like suppose when you deploy an OpenStack based cloud, so you can have a private network and a virtual network as well, and many virtual networks. So each network, you can create virtual machines on these private virtual networks, and the other VM even running on the same node, but they cannot communicate or they cannot have link unless you decide, or you deploy, or you mention it on the virtual router which OpenStack creates. So I cannot go more details, but you can just go and see how OpenStack is. And sorry, you asked about the OpenDaylight as well. OpenDaylight also open source software. So there are many implementation using OpenDaylight in the OpenStack. So just Google OpenStack space OpenDaylight and you will find a lot of material, a lot of things. I think that answered your question, Amin. Okay. Any more question from?
Thank you.
जी बिल्कुल. Containers specifically, Dockers, उसके साथ बहुत मैंने काम नहीं किया, मैंने इस पे वर्क नहीं किया, लेकिन it works very well. You just Google it, OpenStack plus Dockers or OpenStack with containers, and you will find a lot of things. Even in the slide I shared here, you can see the OpenStack has a project named Zune, which is specifically for the containers. This project Zune is specifically for the containers. और कोई क्वेश्चन ऑडियंस में से? Okay, I'm just trying to do some demonstration of our private cloud we have here. अच्छा जी, मैं जरा स्क्रीन डुप्लीकेट कर दूं. Farid bhai, can you check my screen? Can you see my entire screen there on Google Meet? Okay, so here we have two nodes. One is working as controller. So as I said that on controller, we run all the administrative tasks. So here I will just show you a little bit about OpenStack, the virtual machines we created here. Like, so suppose OpenStack server list. Show again. Is it visible there, Farid bhai? Okay, so you can see the all these virtual machines, and status is shut off, means these are turned off now. So I just turned on one of these machines, and it will show the status running. Now we can access our virtual machine in various ways. One of the way is using the PuTTY, doing SSH, which I did, and you can also access your virtual machine using the browser. So I just create a URL for the browser. I have some shortcuts. So these are not actual commands. URL is not a command. So it's just a shortcut for a long OpenStack command. I just created a shortcut. So you see this URL, and I paste this URL in my browser, and you can see that this virtual machine is booting now. Let me see if we can create what we call QR URL to QR. So you can access this virtual machine from your mobile phone as well if it works. Let's see. So can any of you try this? Scan this QR code and see, can you open this virtual machine in your wait a minute, one mistake, sorry. Actually, I am just doing too many shortcuts, so I'm using the name of controller. Actually, it's not controller. We should put the IP address here. Okay, now can you scan? Any of you from the Google Meet, they can also try. Can you access this VM from your PC or mobile? So even right now, I just turned on one of the machine which is working on CLI command line. But even if they've been working on the GUI, you can also visit using the browser on your screen. Like suppose it's running Ubuntu in GUI mode or Windows in GUI mode, it can be seen on your mobile phone as well. Any of you can access or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we have a very good web-based portal as well for the OpenStack. So it's called Horizon. So for Horizon, I'm not going to give you a credential because this is all control thing. So I just give you a little demo about this. So it also one way is using the command line. Command line is very powerful. You can do a lot of work. But even if you are not familiar with the command line and you deploy the OpenStack, you can use this dashboard, which is very convenient and easy to use. Like suppose we have an overview, how many resources we have and how many virtual machines we are running there. So it's just providing the resources of our cloud. Then about the hypervisors and all other things. So virtual CPUs all been deployed, because all these virtual machines we created. So about 10 machines I have already created. So all the virtual resources have been deployed. But right now we are just running one of them. So, but the virtual resources are no more. If I want to create a new machine, it will say the resources are not. Suppose we come to the instances and I try to create a virtual machine. Sorry, I need to come through the project. So from project, I go to the instance, because I don't use very often this web-based. I usually use the command line. So you can see the launch instance is not enabled now. It's not enabling me to launch. So I just delete some of them. and then I will be able to create some virtual machines. So Ubuntu 10 I just turned on, so just I delete 8 and 9. And I can do this same task using this command line. Here I just need to type OS delete and then as many names as I can, and all will be deleted. So I just copy paste some names here and just paste it here, and space and paste it, and then whatever I want to delete, and just I can do this from the command line as well. It has shown some error. There was some maybe some problem because these servers been rebooted. So once they reboot, so we need to sync the services. Like suppose I show you OpenOS. So like suppose this Neutron, Glance, Nova, these all services, they need to communicate with the compute node. So if they reboot and they are not synced, so they show some error. So I believe this error is because of that. So, but as you can see that we can create the virtual machines. You can see the image list. Oh, sorry. So these are the images: Windows Server, Ubuntu, Cyrus. These are the images we are using. We can import any of other image if we want, and we can boot it. Like suppose we want to boot the Fedora, we can bring, or you can create your own image and bring it to this cloud, and you can boot it. So all these facilities, like suppose you go to the image services here on the, so you can see all these images. So it's just a demo to show you, how it's convenient, how it works. So right now we are working on this cloud for some infrastructure related experiments. Like suppose we've been working on cloud monitoring. So what I did in my PhD, I established a non-intrusive cloud monitoring solution. And right now I'm working with one of my students for another work where we trying to know the steal time. Steal time is a parameter when one of the virtual machine, it requesting for the CPU, but CPU is not available because of over provisioning. Like suppose, as I said, we created 10 virtual machines, but actually we have 8 virtual machines infrastructure. You see the here infrastructure. It says 10 CPUs, but actually this machine has 8 virtual machines. Sorry, 8 CPUs. So you can see the CPUs are 8. Real CPUs are 8. So we created 10 virtual machines and we try to run all on the full load. And when it run on 100% of all CPUs, so because we are running 10, so some out of them, they cannot get exact 100%. They get 70%, 60%, and rest of time is coming as a CPU steal time. So this is what happening on the public cloud as well. Like suppose you need a VM from AWS and you assume that it will be working 100% CPU usage you can utilize, but when you put 100% load, sometimes you get, sometimes you're not. So that's what we're trying to establish a case that CPU steal time is an important factor, and it's creating problem when all the nodes are running on full load, which is not ideal case, but it can be happens. Okay, so that's it from my side. Any more questions, please? Okay, any more question from Google Meet participant online?
Can you explain if it can incorporate VM migration? VM
migration, obviously. Right now, we only have the 2 nodes like one controller and one compute. If we would have, I could show you this VM migration within seconds. It's just a command in OpenStack, and you can migrate your VM, running VM. API, yes. This VM migration can be done on this. You can do on API, and you can do with this dashboard as well. So all these facilities available. Even when I was working, I was monitoring VM while I tried to do work a little bit on this as well. While migrating a VM, monitoring that VM, that how it performs while migrating. And it is a big area. Still people are working on it. Like suppose, migrating a VM as an image is very simple. You just stop the VM, create image, and it's just a data moving here and there. But running VM using all the CPU and all these resources of a server, and you are physically moving it from one server to another. It's still running, not stop. So that is a big challenge. So I tried to do some experiment. Sometimes it's crashed, sometimes it's migrated. But when you put some load and you are running some apps, it mostly crashed. So it's an open area. A lot of people are working on it.
In the last case study, this concept of VM migration. So, I mean, live migration we will study in the upcoming lecture. I mean, what is the process of live VM migration? But I mean, we have just finished the topic. I mean, how can we trigger by a migration concept? So the concept of triggering, I mean, a process of this policy, this can be, I guess, integrated with an OpenStack API. So you can develop a script which may trigger VM migration based on certain statistics, and that can be done.
And one more thing I want to add is just because many things I did not learn to, but I finished my all things in an hour, so I find time. So I want to explore some more. You can see these networks as well. So if you are interested in network function virtualization or SDN, so you can see that there are two networks. One is the self-service network, and other is provider network. So self-service network, you can see the private IPs. You can create as many self-service network as you want, and you can boot the virtual machines. So one virtual machine booted in one of the self-service network will never know that there is another private network. They cannot communicate until you define the route. So you see the router here as well. This is also a virtual router created by the OpenStack, and you can see all the interfaces created by this, and gateways and internet interface and all these things. And even it shows you the topology, network topologies. So how this the nodes are created, how many have links. So you see all these nodes, and two are floating in between. It means that they're not properly assigned any of the private or public, the provider network. So
I have a quick question. So you have this public, it's a private cloud that you have implemented in Nosys, isn't it? What are the resources that you have? Is it on a single machine? Do you have a single server? Do you have more than one servers? Is it something that you have hosted in your own data center? Mini?
You are asking about resources of our public private cloud, right?
That is correct.
Yes. So we have two servers. It's very basic. It's not a huge. You can see the resources of one of our machines, same replicated to other one. So we have 8 CPUs, and it's a Core i7. It's just you might say we just use the desktop machine. It's not much machine. So, but for other purposes, we have some other GPU servers and big servers in university. We are deploying some solution on that as well. This is a small. It's just a prototype cloud, you might say, but our purpose, it works, because we are just working on we creating maximum load on virtual machines. The maximum CPUs we are utilizing. It has 8 physical CPUs. We are using 10 virtual CPUs, and then we are doing our experiment, and it works fine for them. But as I said, that minimum you can create your cloud on 2 nodes, but it should at least have 8 GB RAM and some good CPU as well. Most of the today's CPUs are multi-core, like 8 cores, 4 cores, quad core, so they will work. So you can create it on at least 500 GB hard disk. I hope that answers the questions, right?
Yes, it does. Thank you very much.
Okay, so any more questions? Yes, please.
What is the market of infrastructure software like OpenStack in Pakistan? What is the 200 customers of this software? What is the value?
To be very honest about Pakistan, I can just predict that in future a lot of people will be adopting. But right now, I'm not sure who is. As I said, that I think you know better than me at least one company, right? You already work with OpenStack. So in Pakistan, who is using it? As I said, he also been working in one of the companies with the OpenStack. He asking me question about who is working in. But in future, as I said, look at the example I showed you about Swiss Telecom. You know, STC, the Saudi telecom company, they are using OpenStack for their public cloud. And I don't know about future plans in telcos in Pakistan. If any of those, they are going for their own public cloud, they might use OpenStack. But right now, it's only for the companies, those are creating their own private cloud. They can go with the, you know, OpenStack. The software houses, those need, you know, virtual machine virtualization. They need a lot, so they can go with the OpenStack, and they can do all experiments and testing of their software with the cloud. It's very easy. And specifically, you know, one thing I want to, please sit down. One thing I want to clarify that I don't have any financial interest with the OpenStack. I am not representative of OpenStack. Even I'm not any big members of it, just a basic member of OpenStack. But because I got benefit with this software, and my students are getting benefits. So the purpose of this to introduce you that you can also do this, and you can do a lot of research, specifically this research area. If you deploy a basic cloud, you can do a lot of research as well. So that was the basic purpose of this. But in future, in Pakistan, I hope that the big companies, when they go to their private cloud, they might using the OpenStack. Okay, and one more question. I think someone was there. Yeah, please. You mean the infrastructure with the many compute nodes? OpenStack, you know, this is just a demo. If you go to the solutions, like suppose we discussed the Edinburgh University, they are running 200 plus compute nodes. Compute nodes mean a sole server. And I'm not sure, but their servers will be the huge servers, like multi-processor servers, not having only one CPU. Many multi-core CPUs in a server, they will be having at least. So, and they all using, for that, I think they use 3 control nodes. So it depends. So control nodes also need to be expand. And when you expand this network, so there is another node involved, which is called network node, which runs on Neutron. So, but it's on the huge scale. For a small scale, like several 10 or 20 nodes, one controller and other nodes, enough compute nodes. So it works fine. This is for the whole, you know, the centralization of cloud, this software, and this provides a good solution. Okay, so no more questions. So thank you very much, all of you. If you have any more questions in futures, you can email me as well. I just share my email address with the participant online. and you can email me and ask me anything. And I think the most of the students here, they might be familiar with me. If not, you can just ask some of your classmates. You can contact me later on. Okay, thank you very much all the participants joined online us, and thank you very much all of you for giving your time. Thank you, sir, Professor Jawad Shamsi. I'm very thankful for this opportunity I got from you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.